that 2 years ago this Russian Orthodox priest had never been in a hot air balloon before, and now he's the quickest in the world. Landing it wasn't easy. It took a few attempts, and he's hardly slept over the past 11 days, but somehow he managed to guide this massive balloon to the ground. You can see that he dips to the ground a handful of times. He needed a big empty paddock in case it dragged along, and at one point the capsule hit the ground with such force that Fedor was thrown and his cheek injured. He tried to use bushland to try and stop, and that just showed how powerful and how tricky this landing was.
Look at them run towards it at the moment. Cars coming from every direction at the moment. They're trying to stop this balloon.
His son was circling in a helicopter and ended up running towards the balloon and trying to stop it along with others. Luckily, there were no power lines, but it was a very emotional reunion as the capsule opened and father and son were reunited for the first time after 11 days. He was also greeted by a cavalry of the world's media and local farmers who had tracked this balloon as it drifts towards where we are at the moment. This gutsy mission has been 2 years in the making. It's cost $2 million, but this landing is exactly what they'd hoped for. In a small backyard in Northam, a world record is witnessed. Fedor Konyukhov's balloon swings back into sight after lapping the earth.
Right over Northam, where he left.
His family relieved. Taking off was hard. The temperature, lack of sleep, in fact the whole journey was even harder. But the hardest part of this new world record was this afternoon's landing.
And he's hit the ground. There he goes. The balloon is tipping over, dragging. Could drag for kilometres.
Fedor Konyukhov's balloon is as tall as a 10-storey building. Fedor's never landed one this big.
He's on the ground again.
It needed lots of space and no power lines.
That capsule's getting a real battering.
Going down, you have to balance the balloon, you have to manage, you have to fly, you have to make sure you don't hit any fence, power line, building.
Cars coming from every direction at the moment. They're trying to stop this balloon.
A record journey, 11 days, 3 continents, 35,000 kilometres.
Is he okay? Any ball valves on that side, shut them down.
Fedor flew a longer distance than previous record holder Steve Fawcett, but made it 2 days quicker.
He beat the speed record, the distance record, and he will be the first person who flies solo non-stop around the world from the first attempt.
People started to notice a speck in the sky above Perth around lunchtime. This is Scarborough, Carlisle, and of course Northam. Fedor's crew never anticipated he'd end up back here. While Fedor was alone in the balloon, this was in no way a solo mission. He's had a team of experts here in Northam advising him since he lifted off. It was the same today as they guided him to the ground. This is his world record-breaking flight path. Strong winds sent him plummeting into complete darkness over Antarctica and raised fears he might plummet into the ocean. But he managed to get back on course and cross back into WA at lunchtime, straight over the city. Fedor survived dangerous weather. His onboard heater stopped working, leaving him to endure negative 45-degree temperatures. It was like sitting in an icebox. He spent most of the trip connected to an oxygen mask and had no sleep.
He said he's at very good shape, so, I'm surprised, as a son, that he's that strong.
Best balloon pilot in the world. Unbelievable.
Jordan Katz, 7 News.